Hi babes, and welcome to the Virgo season reading. I do astrology season readings every month, and especially for the Vibrant Coven, there are lots of resources there for that because this particular reading, and I might do this for all of my astrology readings actually, is going to inspire this next week's topic. We do topic discussions, polls, a video which gives guidance on that one particular topic. Last week's topic was people pleasing in partnerships. The week before was on giving up or quitting. So we get guidance from the universe through card readings. We get resources and then a follow-up at the end of the week so you can set intentions and be held accountable to the kinds of changes that you want to make around like how you want to feel about giving up, how you want to heal through people pleasing in partnerships. So this week's topic is going to be inspired by this video, and if you would like to be a part of that, be sure to click the link in the caption if you're watching this on YouTube, and go and join the Vibrant Coven. If you are watching this on the Vibrant Coven, then hi, welcome to the public tier, where I give a few free resources every month, and also would suggest that you join Patreon, join the Vibrant Coven at the $5 a month level, because then you're going to get all of the things that I just talked about, the topic, discussion, poll, guidance, resource, follow-up. I mean, it's just, there's something literally every day of the week, and if you would like to be held accountable to your personal growth, if you want resources and you would like to be a part of a community, then like come and join us. Okay, so I'm gonna get started on this reading. This reading is for Virgo season. Virgo season started August 22nd, and every astrological season begins and ends around the 21st, 22nd of the month. It's different for February because February has fewer days, but 21st, 22nd is around the day that the astrological seasons usually shift. The Virgo energy comes from the Virgin, which is the maiden, the one who is new to things and often learning from a place of either naivete or taking lots of notes. And the maiden energy is not just for women, it is for everyone who has an inner new being, has an inner new and fresh to the world being, as well as an inner desire to be cared for and looked after. Virgo is an earth sign, which, just for those of you who don't know a whole lot about astrology, every astrological sign is tied to a certain element, including earth, air, water, fire. Anything that you would find in Avatar: The Last Airbender, that's what we're talking about here. So Virgo is an earthbender. Virgo energy is grounded, and that's why so many associate Virgos with structure, with analysis. But I think there is such a softening that's happening to the Virgo energy, and whether or not the actual Virgos in your life are displaying this or not is, entirely dependent upon their own ability to and capacity for change and for fluidity and flexibility, because again, it's an earth sign, so change is a lot harder and takes a lot longer for earth signs in general. But whether you're seeing that in the actual people or not is entirely dependent upon their capacity. Virgo energy, astrologically, that we all experience together is becoming softer. And I think the sort of what is it called when like the earth is worn away by water, that erosion, okay, that erosion has finally increased in intensity, and the erosion is kind of revealing a few of the more softer aspects and more hidden layers of earth, or more oily sides that are kind of like looser and again more fluid. Like earth is not just hardness, or there are many varieties of earth texture and feels. And I think there's a softening that's happening here. That's the feeling and the sensation that I've been getting. I also wanted to just say that I do these astrological season readings for every sign. So if you want to learn more about each astrological sign, or you want to even just get an idea for the month ahead, this is a great way to do that. I don't do it by like the first of the month, like September 1st. I do it per astrological sign change, because I think that dictates a lot more of the energies that we see than just like the first and last of the actual calendar month. So if you would like to get that guidance on what the month ahead is going to look and feel like, and some of the changes that you can harness for yourself during that time, then be sure to subscribe to YouTube, or to make sure that you join the Vibrant Coven. So we're gonna get into this. I have pulled 2 cards from the Mood Tarot deck. I am actually going to be going through this tarot deck, which is relatively new to me, and I haven't studied it yet. I am going to be going through this deck and talking about how to learn and study your tarot deck, or even your oral deck, your oracle deck, so that you can develop a better relationship with it, and like know your cards as soon as you see them, and not have to like do so much interpreting, but like kind of already recognize as soon as you see them, like based on colors, based on certain cues, that this is what this thing generally means, and now I can give you what it specifically means based on my intuition that's happening right here. So if you want to be a part of that, definitely make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure that you hit the notifications button, because I'm going to be doing all of this teaching through shorts, through YouTube Shorts, which is essentially Reels for YouTube. So make sure that you go and you get notifications for that, so you can follow along on the tarot journey, and also just like get to check these out, because these cards are pretty ridiculous. They're pretty freaking ridiculous, and it's funny that this is called a disgustingly relatable tarot deck. So we're gonna see a lot of this deck, and we're also going to I'm going to be giving my tips and my tools for how to study any deck. For now, we've got the Bam Betch card, which is the Tower. And what it says is, that tower was full of black mold and cocaine thieving ghosts anyway. Meaning the people falling out of it are like, I didn't really want to be there anyway. It kind of sucked in there. Which is what the Tower card always represents, is I've built myself up to this certain point, and at some point the building was set ablaze, and now that I'm at the top, I'm not just going to be like, I'm at the top of the tower, it took me all this time to get up here, I want to stay up here, I have to stay up here, I've done all this work, I'm going to stay in spite of the fact that it's burning down. Getting to the top of the tower means, okay, well, I guess if it's on fire, then that's my sign, that's my cue that this isn't for me anymore, that I experienced the fullness of this journey, the fullness of exactly what this experience was meant to teach me, and now I have a very obvious circumstance that is pushing me out of this place. So what we're going to be experiencing in Virgo season is that tower energy of, just because you built up a lot of energy towards something, or just because you built up a lot of experience within something, doesn't mean that you're meant to stay there forever. Sometimes you're meant to be in a job for 5 to 10 years just for you to go, whoop, there are a lot of fires, and these are not meant, I'm not meant to be putting out all of these fires. I am meant to be taking this as a sign that I need to move on, that I need to just like Batman cape out of there and just like, you know, fly on into the city, find another building, start from the bottom, work my way up again. The reason that the tower is such a scary card for most people when they see this in tarot is because they're unwilling to leave. They don't want to change. And there is the Virgo earth-bound energy of, I don't want to change, I don't want to leave, I've developed roots here. If there's a relationship that you have been in, where you've been in for a couple of years, and you are starting to see that like, wow, I'm really seeing how the other person has set this relationship on fire and is trying to make me leave. Or I have been setting this relationship on fire, maybe unconsciously, because I know, some part of me knows that I need to have a really good reason to fucking leave. Because otherwise, the story that I'm telling myself is, I've been here for so long, I need to stay. There's something here that's keeping me here. That is the alternate story of the tower, is there's something that's keeping me here. And all it is the accumulation of time, money, energy, and resources spent on gaining experience within that area of your life. If that is all that is keeping you there, is time spent, then it's time to fucking go. That card that came up is the They're Watching card, which is, I believe, the Judgment card, because it says, wake up, sleepy hoes, it's time to be judged. That is such a Virgo energy, a Virgo card, which is why as soon as I saw these cards, I started smiling and grinning, because I was like, such Virgo shit right now. The Judgment card represents sort of a lifetime of sort of experiential wisdom that you either have gained or that you have wielded against other people to make yourself feel better. It's either that you've used this experiential wisdom to make your own life better, or to make yourself feel better by way of judging other people. The Judgment card also means a lot of other things, which I will get into in the tarot journey. But in this case, in this situation, it's essentially a reinforcing of the tower. It's like, wake up. You've either gained the experience and the wisdom that you need to get yourself free from this situation, or you are only using the wisdom that you've gained here to hate on other people or to blame somebody else for the position that you are keeping yourself in. If you're in a relationship that you've gained enough experience to know, like, I need to either change this or leave this, but you are staying in the relationship and continuing to blame the other person for making you feel that way, then you're not using the fire that is happening around you. It's like you're looking at the fire and going, I hate you for burning shit down. Like I hate that you've been burning shit down in this space, in this experience that we've been cultivating together. Why are you setting all these things on fire? You suck. You suck for setting these things on fire. I wanted you to do this other thing, but you did this instead. Same in a job, in a workplace. You know, you're going to be seeing like changes happening that don't feel good for you. And instead of blaming and judging the other, you need to turn that around to yourself and say, what is the wisdom that I've gained here? That needs to be enough. That needs to be enough. And the signs that I'm getting for like needing to leave need to be enough. Need to be a cause for me to take my wisdom, take my experience, and say, thank you, you can continue staying in these fires that you've set. I am going to move on to the next thing. Because what the next thing is going to give you is the next set of rules, the next set of structures, the next set of experiences. Hello, Virgo. Rules and structures, the grounded energy. It's going to give me the next set of things to help me be new, maiden energy, to whatever it is that I need to experience next. This is really itching me and bothering me. Let's see if I can get... Yeah, that's okay. Whatever the next set of experiences that you're meant to experience, especially if like your job situation is changing, like your career situation is changing, but your relationship situation has essentially been needing to change but hasn't, or vice versa, like your relationship situation just changed or is changing and your career and your job life isn't changing, something, you need to have that balance. You need to have that balance of like, well, if I am heading into a new energy and a new space of opening in my life, then I need to, that's kind of what these astrological periods of change are for, is if something is opening for me, if this Virgo door is opening for me, and during this time I'm experiencing a new job, or I'm experiencing a new relationship, or I'm experiencing the ending of one or the other, then I need to fully embrace that energy and allow myself to experience it and receive it in all of the ways. I am going to draw a couple more cards that are going to just fall out for our Virgo season reading, so that we can get some messages from the Threads of Fate Oracle deck. This is the Shadow Edition. Get some messages on what Virgo season is going to bring us, and maybe what we can expect during this time. So, as I suspected, this is going to be a time where things feel a little bit upside down. The Shadow deck, the Shadow card has a bat upside down, showing us that there is going to be a time of reversal, a time of, I thought this was one way and now it is another, and what I thought that I was getting into is not, I had different expectations for it than I am actually now experiencing. And if that is what you come across within the next month, during Virgo season, then just know that is a normal thing, that is what you are meant to be experiencing, because what it's going to teach you is patience. It's going to help you to develop sort of that shell that you need, that protective covering of yourself that you need in order to continue on the slow journey without feeling the need to outpace anybody else, or feeling the need to meet your own expectations, your own fucking ridiculous expectations for how fast you should be going. Virgos tend to create really high expectations and tend to feel that comparison and competition with others elevates them. That's the word that I'm looking for. And the actual thing that elevates Virgo energy is the grounding in and the rooting in the knowing of the seeds that you're sowing, which takes time. The manifest card has a steer, I forget what it's called, but it's some kind of oxen that like rolls around in the grass and helps to fertilize the space that it's in. Not only is it kind of like that slow moving beast of burden that gets used for planting and sowing seeds and for like tilling land, but also it does that with its own body and with the natural way that it moves through the world. This is how manifestation works, is whenever you are feeling like, I need to move faster so that things can happen faster, you need to come back to yourself and acknowledge that the natural way that I show up in the world, and especially the natural way that feels playful and feels authentic to me, is exactly how I'm going to sow these seeds and exactly how I am going to fertilize and therefore accelerate the pace of my manifestations. The reversal of your expectations is going to help you learn that lesson. So in Virgo season right now, what you can expect is that some of your expectations are going to be turned on their head. And so I want you to take with you this phrase that I learned from my Oracle of the Goddess deck, which I've used in several of my other readings before, and I use in a lot of my own private readings. If you would like a private card reading with me, you can book in the link below, or go to vforvibrant.com and book a reading there. But I've used the Oracle of the Goddess deck, and one of the phrases that always jumps out for me is, all expectations are unreasonable. Because the way that you fulfill an expectation is often through means by which you have already planned out in your head. But that doesn't leave room for love energy to come in and show you new ways, show you better ways. The universe is always trying to teach you how to soften, how to become a more true version of yourself, and release some of the conditioned ways that you have been going about getting things done. And it doesn't have to be done by way of becoming that beast of burden and tilling the land and sowing the seeds of your expectations in ways that you are used to, and that you are used to in such a way that like you've seen other people do before, because that's the conditioned way. That is the patriarchal way. That is the white supremacist way. That is the capitalist way. That is the culturally normal status quo way. And if you are watching this, then you are not a status quo person. Then you are the kind of person who is empowering yourself and protecting yourself to break away from that and to find your own nourishing and nurturing that doesn't involve being hyper productive or being overly perfectionist. You can desire a kind of perfection that meets your own standards for excellence and goodness and beauty, but the kind of perfection that a Virgo a Virgo lesson would supply is the kind of perfection that follows the status quo and needs things to be like perfectly in their box. What we're learning during this Virgo season is that softened, slowed state of standardization. And what I mean by that is it's not the white supremacist version. It's not the version that requires you to show up in a certain kind of way so that you will be accepted or so that you will be protected by others. You are learning how to protect your own energy by way of meeting a different standard. The standards that white supremacist and patriarchal and capitalist culture has taught us is tolerance of things that don't really feel great for us, but are good enough. The standard that we've been accustomed to is getting what you can get and being okay with not always getting everything that you want. When in reality, you can get everything you want. And you know this, that's why you're here. You know that you can get everything you want, and that the standard of, well, take what you can get, beggars can't be choosers, which is a very capitalist phrase. What you are learning is, what you are here for is a softening of those low standards so that they can erode away and leave room for the higher standards, which are more fluid, more flexible, stronger, tougher, gently firm. This is a compliment that I got from a friend recently, somebody who is a friend and somebody who I also was mentoring. If you would like a mentorship with me, those are also available through the Vibrant Coven. It is my top tier, and there are only a few spaces available. So if you want a mentorship with me, go and check that out. But as a mentor and as a friend, they were like, getting to watch you facilitate is so incredible because you embody compassion and you are that gentleness and that firmness that made me feel like I could change my standards. And that's what we're learning. That's what we're learning in this time, is to change our standards so that we are being gentle with ourselves, but still firm enough that we have standards. It's a new standardization, and that's what I mean by that. The card that reinforces this is this last card here, which is the Get Creative card. I feel like I want to, I knew I was going to want to read from my book here, but I feel like I want to read, I think Calcite is one of the things here. But I want to read from this and give y'all a little extra insight that uses words that I don't have immediately prepared. They've already written it better than I could think of it, so I'm going to let them be the one to say the thing. Yeah, orange calcite. So the Get Creative card is a water element card, which makes total sense that we are experiencing through this earth season, this earth sign season. We are experiencing some level of erosion and some level of like wearing away, and it's not like being worn down kind of wearing away, but it's like a washing away. So it makes sense that we would end with this water energy so that we can be reminded during this earth season that there is a softening happening and that there is a sort of flexible, flowy movement that we can harness to become better versions of ourselves. So I'm attracted to the flower here and to the crystal. We've got an iris as well as the orange calcite here. And I am going to read these for us and see what they've got to teach us. Iris. The iris teaches us how to use our feelings as a gateway to artistic expression. They come in all colors of the rainbow spectrum and often look like they have been painted themselves. They often serve as a portal to our creative selves through channeling divine inspiration. Iris is especially helpful if you are stuck in a routine. There is that stuckness that I knew was going to come up in here, and can't seem to find beauty in the unexpected. Again, this is calling yourself to new standards of, like, what does perfection look like for you? It is not the boxed in, unpainted, just like, brown paper bag version, cardboard box version of perfection that you've seen before. It is a splattered painting, and you can call upon Iris if you need assistance in restoring vibrancy to your life. I think that's what Virgo is giving us, is helping us to recognize our burning towers that we need to get away from and that we are clearly meant to wake up out of and start to leave and remove ourselves from, so that we can approach new territories, new settings, the planting of new seeds with this sort of dance. Like, instead of going in, I'm like imagining, like, you go and you dig and then you plant the seed and you pile it up and you go to the next one. Instead of that, you're like dancing on a field and your feet are digging into and making striations in the ground. And as you're moving, you're like releasing from your hands the seeds. And instead of putting them in perfect little rows, you're letting them grow in more natural ways, in more vibrant ways that let them compete to be the strongest and allow them to strengthen as they grow, and allow love and the universe to help you cultivate that energy, as opposed to you being the one who's like, I have to check in on all my seeds all the time. I have to be the one to water them. I have to be the one. I have to. That's that productivity-minded perfectionism that we learn through capitalism, white supremacy, and patriarchy, through that masculine, hard, like, I have to show up in a certain way, and the white supremacist, colonialist, like, I have to subjugate the land. I have to dominate everything that I hold standards over. Virgo season is when we are learning that we are not trying to dominate our partners if they are not showing up how we want them to, that we are not trying to subjugate the people that we work with and subtly manipulate them so that we can get the outcomes that we desire. This Virgo season is teaching us that we need to operate in a different way if we want different results, and if we want to become the change that we wish to see in the world. So that was our Iris message. Now we have orange calcite. Orange calcite is like a ray of sunshine that can pierce through all stagnancy and reinvigorate our passion for life. And again, here is that message of Virgos have a hard time changing, and the Virgo energy is a time in which people find it hard to move through what they are going through. But that's why there have been these fires that have set. That's why there's this orange calcite, this ray of sunshine that's like, ta-da! I'm going to make it so easy for you to see exactly where your fires are and the things that are glaringly obvious that you need to leave, so that you can move toward, like, the spotlight effect of, like, this is what you should be focusing on instead. It is helpful when we have childhood wounds around creativity, but can also support creatives who have reached a block in their project. So it's talking about orange calcite is helpful when we have childhood wounds around creativity. Not that having childhood wounds around creativity is a helpful thing to have. Sorry, I interrupted the thought there, so I'm very sorry, orange calcite. I'll let you finish your thought. Okay. Call upon orange calcite when you have limiting beliefs or ingrained patterns that hold you back from your creative potential. If you're trying to create a certain kind of life, and this is so interesting, I'm like thinking about the artist's way that I have been a part of, and all of the people that I'm doing the artist's way with. The artist's way, if you don't know what that is, I actually have the book next to me if you don't mind waiting. It is a book by Julia Cameron, and it is essentially a workbook that is on how to develop a spiritual path to higher creativity. And it takes you through unblocking your creative limiting beliefs and your life limiting beliefs, because we have so many of those. It's not just like, how can I be, creative with my own projects? It's how can I create the kind of relationships that I really, truly desire? How can I create for myself a space in which the job or the career that I'm investing my energy into allows me to expand into my potential and fully develop all of my strengths? The artist's way has been helping me to see how there are so many ways that I hold myself back from my own potential, and ways that I'm blaming other people for holding me back from that potential, or blaming other people for being the reason that I cannot fully show up in my potential. And the only reason that I am not letting those go is because without those things to blame, without those people to blame, that's usually what it is for me. Without those people to blame, the only person who's left is myself. And then it's limitless potential because nobody's around to limit me anymore. Or the only person who's left is myself after I stop blaming everybody else, or holding other people responsible for the way that I have been sitting in my burning towers and the pain that I feel from sitting in the burning towers. What's left is sometimes loneliness. And I think that is one of the other Virgo stories, is as a maiden, as the maiden energy starts to resonate more deeply in you during Virgo season, you might find that the potential of leaving things or getting rid of certain things from your life, creating holes, creating gaps, creating an open space in which you suddenly have to take up more responsibility, because there is no one else around anymore for you to hold responsible for what is or what is not getting accomplished, how good or how bad you are feeling at any given time. Suddenly, there is a loneliness. There is an aloneness too. I am the only one who is responsible for taking what is left here and moving on. And moving on is indeed what you're meant to do. Really continuing to plant those seeds. We've got the wings of change. We've got the shadow work that you do once you are alone and once you experience that dark night of the soul. We've got that patient portal of, personal protection from the tortoise shell here, and the chamomile that's growing up around it, which is like maybe the reason that you need to be alone for a while is so that the firmness that you've been like holding as expectations and standards toward other people needs to be softened. It needs to be gentlified. Ooh, sounds like gentrified, and I don't like that. It made more gentle by way of you giving that gentleness and that softness to yourself, you empowering yourself to protect yourself from the harshness of expectation that you've been holding against yourself and you've been holding against other people, or holding against the environments that have been, that you've been experiencing and you've been building wisdom through for a long time. That gentleness is something that you need to cultivate at this time. The maiden within you needs to learn how to become that softness again. Because otherwise, every time that you build structures and every time you create new standards for yourself, it is always going to be from that intensely firm place, from that harshness, from that really jagged version of the maiden who was immediately scorned, as opposed to the maiden who got to keep some of, and maybe this is a journaling prompt for you. Maybe this is a journaling prompt that I'm going to include in the Vibrant Coven's discussion for this week is, how can you maintain, how can you reimagine what that maiden-like naivete looks like for you and feels like for you? How can you reignite some of that naive energy within yourself? Which is to say, how can you imagine the world without having expectations of it based on what you've already experienced? Being naive is essentially not knowing what you're going to get, or not imagining what might be really happening because you've not experienced it before, or because you wouldn't imagine that a certain person would be like that, or a certain thing would have that kind of result. That softness of turning expectation into imagination is exactly where Virgo season is taking us this time around. So, because Virgo season is only for 1 month a year, an astrological year, I highly suggest that you take every little tidbit here that has resonated for you, and you watch this video again, do some journaling, write out any phrases that feel really powerful for you, and put them up on your wall as reminders to create different standards that are high standards for you, but gently firm standards, compassionate standards that don't necessarily require other people to live up to them, only require you to reinforce them or say, okay, you haven't lived up to this standard and I don't expect you to, so goodbye, I love you. I'm going to release you from any obligation. I'm going to release you from any expectation. The structure with which I am building my life is gently firm, so that what I am revealing from within myself after all of the erosion of all this toughness and hardness, the leaving of Leo season, which is the fire that was set to our tower, can now help me to see what is left, see what remains, and be gentle with that. But use it in such a way that there is still structure. that there is still something for me to feel safe in and empowered by, and giving myself patience for. There is a lot of expectation of movement that I feel that needs to be let go of. There's a lot of expectation of other people being the ones to help you ground, which needs to be let go of. There is a great expectation of what I know and what I have learned as a wounded maiden, as an unprotected maiden, is what I have to expect. And those expectations need to be released so that the imaginative, naive, like creative, part of you can help you to sow seeds in a different way and manifest from a place that is soft and gentle and patient and kind, and protects you from maybe even your own harshness, maybe even the unkindness of the world that you have taught to yourself to try and keep up. The topic that I'm feeling for this week in the Vibrant Coven, which is going to start tomorrow, which is going to start on Monday, really feels like it is going to have a lot to do with that firm but gentle energy, with how to be kind to yourself and set new standards that don't require expectations, that don't have these boundless expectations that you bind others and yourself to. So we'll see what this topic, what the discussion for this week looks like, what the guidance for this week ahead looks like, what the resource, probably journaling prompts looks like. And I'm really excited to see where Virgo season takes us. As a Pisces myself, in case you didn't know, the astrological signs kind of live on a wheel. And because there is an even number on the wheel, there are always like equal and opposite anchor points. And for the Pisces anchor, Virgo is on the other side. And I am a Pisces sun, which means like Pisces is my sign. But also within my astrological chart, the time that I was born, the moon was stationed. It was a full moon in Virgo for me. So like I have a lot of like kind of battling between myself, between that softness and that hardness. And sometimes Virgo season for me, as a Pisces, feels a little bit strenuous, and being in around Virgo energy feels a little strenuous sometimes. But that is also a reflection of my own strenuousness. The strain that I put on myself. And I urge you, if you feel like Virgo season maybe is usually tough for you, or like the energies that you've been hearing throughout this reading sound like they're going to be difficult for you to handle or to experience, I suggest for you to find just one thing that makes you feel gentle toward yourself, and keep repeating that to yourself every single day. Put it on your mirror where you brush your teeth, so you look at it every single day. Maybe it's just the phrase, I am enough. And if that is exactly what you need to see, then that's exactly what you need to hear every single day. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about what this month ahead is going to look like. I hope that you like this video and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you are watching in the public Vibrant Coven, I hope that you consider joining for $5 a month and even contributing for the creation of this video. The only way that I can do this, that I can continue doing this, and that I can make this my livelihood and the thing that pays my bills is that $5 a month. I know it sounds so small, and it's less than a cup of coffee. It costs nowadays, oh my gosh, it used to be like, buy me a cup of coffee, it's only $4 or $5, and now it's like they're like $6 to $10. Like it's just getting a little ridiculous at this point. But if any of this resonated for you, and if there's anything here within what you have received, or the things that I've that I've told you about that are in the Vibrant Coven resonate for you, try it out. $5 a month is so powerful and so worth it. Even if you only show up for 1 week a month, I think $5 for that 1 week of exactly what you needed to hear, and exactly the kind of personal growth that you needed to take with you for that month is so worth it. It's such like a perfect exchange. And it would feel good to receive that energy exchange for the work that I do here, because this is my favorite kind of work to do. I don't want to have to take other jobs and do things that wear my energy down and make me less available here. I want to be able to be fully available and fully present in the Vibrant Coven, in V4Vibrant on YouTube, in the Vibrant Coven podcast. I want to be able to be giving these free and low-cost resources so that you can continue to get these reliable sources of inspiration, motivation, guidance, clarity, confidence. That's the MO here, is cultivating a culture of compassion in which you can feel very clear about what is right for you, so that you have the confidence to move forward. That's what my card readings are about. That's what the Coven is about. That's what everything that I create is about. So if that feels good for you, then join the Vibrant Coven, or book a card reading and get a more in-depth version of this reading that is specific to you, so you can get the thoughts, actions, beliefs, and behaviors that you need to start investing more in, that you need to release and stop doing, that you need to continue because they're already supporting you and developing such like a wonderful foundation for you. And even the obstacle, the thing that is blocking you immediately right now, like the biggest block for you right now, that if you heard that message and you got clarity on that right now, that everything else that start, stop, continue could just fall, again, gently. Ooh, gentleness is definitely a theme. Fall gently into place for you. So head to vforvibrant.com to book a reading, or head to patreon.com/vibrantcoven to join the Coven and make sure that you are getting access to this community in which we are cultivating a culture of compassion. We are growing, we are laughing, we are healing, we are playing through life, so that the life that we are creating is one that is so vibrant. We can leave behind everything that doesn't spark our vibrancy, that doesn't spark our love, that doesn't spark this appreciation and this gratitude for the beauty of life. If that's what you want to focus on, is the beauty of life, come join us. I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Please share with anybody that you feel might resonate with these messages, or with just hearing about the astro season ahead in general. Please share. Please be sure to hit the notification bells if you want to do the tarot journey, because like I said, I am going to be doing that. starting on Monday. And yeah, make sure that you are in all the places that feel good for you. And don't be in places that don't feel good for you. Please, stop. Stop it. You deserve better. You deserve all the love and beauty and good feelingness in your life, the vibrancy in your life that you desire. I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.